to pose with Guido for a quick picture.
I gotta shake everybody.
Thank you for joining us.
So, before we do a police fight, Ron and I run the police boxing team. Oh yeah,
Thank you. Mine won't stretch that far. Thank you.
I'm used to yelling. Sorry.
He probably doesn't need it.
Used to yelling at the crowd. Sorry. Listen, before we do any police boxing show, we do something called smoke and talk. It's our version of press conference. So we like to say, Guido, on behalf of NYPD, we welcome you, and we have a shirt for you. Can you hold this up? Right. Guido is officially a member of the NYPD boxing team now. Let's smoke and talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen, so much. Thank you for your service every day.
I didn't realize Guido was a police officer. We just signed a police captain from India, from Delhi.
We're signing all these
Yeah,
police
that's
officers.
my hand to God. And we're going to bring him to New York to fight. Vincent.
Yeah, that's right. So we got, hey, if you want to be a police officer and a boxer, come to Top Rank, right? Okay, so Guido, let's get started with your interview. He's going to try to speak in English.
Yeah, I try.
You've been working on it, I know you have. As you get ready for your pro debut, how excited are you to have the opportunity for your pro debut right here at Madison Square Garden in New York City?
When I started this sport, boxing, my dream was go to Olympic and go to America for fight in Madison Square Garden with Top Rank. So now the dream is now, okay? So I am very happy. For me, I am very excited, and I'm ready for this fight.
Many people, if they haven't had a chance to see your amateur career, much of it took place overseas. How would you describe your boxing style to the fans and those people watching?
Yes, I'm mix between Klitschko and Muhammad Ali. I move in the ring, but I'm so aggressive. I want boxing, I want fight.
And you're with a good trainer for that, and Abel Sanchez. You spend most
I
of your
have
training.
I have the best training in the world. Where is it? I have the best training in the world. The training was very hard every day in Big Bear. With my manager Sam, we run every morning. No, I don't know. But for this, I'm very ready for fight.
Bob, have you ever promoted an Italian fighter before?
Many. I was telling Guido, we in the 70s and 80s, we promoted fights every other week in the summer in Italy with my Italian partner, Rodolfo Sabatini. Those old enough to remember, we did the fights on Saturday and Sunday evening in Italy and had them come over. In the United States, it was in the afternoon. Remember, the CBS and ABC showed the fights in the afternoon. And I would go up to CBS and I would say, I have this fight, A fighter against B fighter, and they weren't so excited, but I said the fight was in Ravenna in Italy. I said, oh, okay, then we'd buy the fight.
Maybe we'll have a fight there,
They
right?
love to come to Italy. The food is spectacular. And Guido comes from Rome, where the food is even the best of any place in Italy.
Carbonara, matriciana.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to Rome. Let's do a fight in Rome with Guido. Lastly, your nickname's Gladiator. I know you're coming on some Gladiator here. What kind of performance should the fans at Madison Square Garden expect from you in your pro debut?
I see only win, knockdown for me.
Knock down, knock out. That's it? Hey, that's all English you really need to know, right? Knock him out. Guido, thank you so much.
Thank you.
The man to your left, a few weight classes lower than you, although with his mentality, he'd probably take on a heavyweight if we let him. Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo, we're here close to your backyard in Brooklyn. You're fighting on TV here at ESPN after being named Yahoo Sports 2018 Prospect of the Year. How excited are you to be right back here at Madison Square Garden? Obviously got the Knicks jersey on. I know you're ready.
Yeah. Actually, from the Madison Square Garden, they made this for me, so of course, I know they're excited for having me here. It's my 4th time here, and like always, I'm always here to to put on a show and to take over. That's what I've always said, and come Saturday night, we're here to take over the show.
I know we talked earlier this week, and being named Prospect of the Year, and you're hearing Prospect and Prospect, but you looked at me. I have a feeling you're kind of getting irritated with hearing Prospect because you feel like you're closer to Contender, don't you?
No, absolutely. The way I fight and everything, even though 2 years in the sport as professional and everything, and not only that, with the amount of fights, I guess you could say I'm Prospect, but
And your age.
and my age, but it doesn't really, to me, is as a prospect, I don't see it anymore. I mean, they're giving me tougher opponents, but the way I'm handling those opponents, sooner or later, they're just gonna have to give me the world title, And I say 2019, I will become world champion.
Well, before that, you have to get through a tough and battle-tested.
Oh yeah. I know Mason Minardi's gonna definitely come out there and fight, bring in the fight, but they all try the same thing, and it's not gonna work. It's not. So no matter what they do, no matter how hard they try, they're in there with a real one. So when they all said and done, I know how to dissect the fighter very well.
In your last fight, you beat a fighter with one hand for 6 rounds. So
One hand.
You're prepared to take on whatever adversity
I
comes your way.
think, anything in my way is honestly, it's a fight game. This is what happens. It comes with the sport. So you just gotta prepare yourself.
And when you say takeover, I just want to clarify that for everybody. It doesn't just mean take over your weight class, and you're talking a grander scale. You want to take over back. You want to take over the card. You want to steal the show every time you're in there. It's a Teofimo Lopez show. That's how you feel.
That's how it's supposed to be. I mean, it's all about entertaining the crowd, entertaining the fans, and everybody around here. At the end of the day, we're only 10 fights going into my 11th. A lot of people have been talking highly about me. So it's about keeping that, and it's not about, right now we got it. It's about keeping it. So that's what we're gonna do. Come Saturday night, it's another fight, another exciting show, another backflip.
All right, maybe one more Fortnite dance.
Yeah, of course. Fortnite dance, and me and Carl, we got something planned out afterwards.
Oh, because Carl's like the first one in the ring after.
Yeah. So Carl gonna come in.
Have you been practicing your Fortnite, Carl? No. Okay. All right. Well, we'll wait and see if you win what that will be.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Teofimo. Let's go now to our co-main event. The man to my left, Emmanuel Vaquero Navarrete. We're going to use Gardy to transit. You have a mic? Okay, great. 24-1, 21 KOs. Emmanuel is ranked number 2 by the WBO at 122 pounds and is the mandatory challenger for Isaac Roa Dogbe. Emmanuel, this will be your U.S. debut. You fought on national television before, but what does it mean to you to have your U.S. debut in a title fight right here at Madison Square Garden?
Este es tu debut en los Estados Unidos, has peleado en televisión nacional anteriormente. ¿Cómo te sientes de pelear tu debut en los Estados Unidos en un escenario como este y ante Isaac Dogbe?
Buenas tardes, antes que nada agradezco aquí a las personas que me dieron la oportunidad de estar aquí y que me dieron la oportunidad también de disputar el título mundial, ¿no? Y qué mejor que ante Dogbe, que es un super gallo, pues creo que el mejor hasta ahorita y la verdad estoy muy contento, ¿no? Y motivado para la pelea. Creo yo que hice una buena preparación y mi desempeño pues se va a ver reflejado en la pelea, pues. Estoy contento de que sea el Madison Square Garden, un buen escenario pues, ¿no? Para que el Vaquero Navarrete se corone campeón mundial, ¿no?
First of all, thank to everyone for the opportunity. I'm very grateful for the opportunity of fighting a great fighter and super bantamweight champion like Isaac Dogbe. And what better than doing it in a great stage like the Madison Square Garden for me to become champion in such a big stage.
When Isaac won the world title, he was in a position similar to you where not many people knew who he was, at least here in the United States. Not many people saw him on U.S. television, and he came and he shocked the world and beat Jesse Magdaleno for the title. Do you feel like you're in a similar situation now, being that this is the first time you're fighting here in front of a U.S. audience and maybe not a lot of people know who you are? Are you in a position to feel like you're ready to shock the world?
Cuando Dogbe hizo su debut en Estados Unidos, él vino y está en una posición similar a la tuya, no mucha gente lo conocía. ¿Piensas que es algo similar, ya que tampoco a ti nadie te conoce mucho acá en los Estados Unidos o te han visto en televisión?
Pues sí, tal vez puede ser que la gente aquí en los Estados Unidos no me conozca, pero he hecho una amplia carrera en mi país y he destacado un poco, entonces yo creo que eso no tiene importancia pues para mí, ¿no? Yo vengo concentrado en la pelea y te digo, pues gracias a Dogbe y a Top Rank que me dio la oportunidad de estar aquí, vamos a demostrar que sí podemos y pues, ahí vamos el título para México, ¿no?
Maybe people don't know me very well right now, but I have done a great career in my country, so I'm not paying attention to that. I'm focused on the career and taking advantage of the opportunity, and focus on bringing the title back to Mexico with me.
Gracias, Vaquero. Now to your opponent, the champion, Isaac Royal Storm Dogbe. Nejo, I was waiting for it. There it is. This time last year, you were in quite a different place, quite a different position. 2018 has been a remarkable year for you. And here we are to top it off at Madison Square Garden. If you could just quickly recap what this year has been like for you now becoming a world champion.
You know, in all things, I always say it's been a blessing from God Almighty Himself, and you know, we couldn't have asked for a better 2018. You know, before entering into 2018, my uncle, Prophet Wokbleho Wobenu, said to me, look, all you had to do is just dance into 2018, be happy. And that's exactly what we did. We started off knocking out Cesar Juarez, another fine Mexican tough fighter. And we move on to Jesse Magdaleno, another tough world champion. You know, he's one of the best in my weight division. You know, and after that, we defended it against Hidenori Otake, one of Japan's finest fighters. You know, so right now, it's been a blessing. 3 knockouts out of 3 fights, and this is going to be the 4th knockout out of 4 fights in 2018. And it's always been a blessing. When we step onto the stage, you see the whole team, the whole band, everybody screaming, no! 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 You see, so...
I do see, I hear, I see. I mean, Bob, when we signed, you know, Isaac, and you saw him burst on the scene, I mean, he's just this little package of dynamite with the biggest smile, but, you know, so much power in his punches. I mean, the way he's kind of, his name is the Royal Storm, but he really has took boxing by storm. What are your thoughts on Isaac?
Well, he's a terrific fighter, and more than just being a terrific fighter, he's really a terrific young man. It's really been a pleasure for us to be associated with him. He's really a credit to the country of Ghana, and he's really graced the sport of boxing.
Has he had you practice the Nejo? Have you tried it yet?
What?
Have you practiced saying Nejo? That was the reaction I was hoping for, actually.
Yeah.
We'll work on that part, right? I think. You mentioned the tough fights against Cesar Juarez, the tough fight against Jesse Magdaleno. How do you feel like that helped to prepare you for your mandatory challenger in this man right here, Vaquero Navarrete?
You know, Emmanuel Navarrete is also one of Mexico's finest fighters. He's tough as they come. He reminds me of the likes of Israel Vasquez and Juan Manuel Marquez. These are great legendary fighters. You know, when you talk about the fighting spirit of the Mexicans, you know that he's gonna come and fight. You know, I mean, we've sourced him out. We know what he's gonna bring to the table. When the time comes, when round 1 comes, we know it's 2 things. It's either he's gonna run away, he's gonna run around, or he's gonna come and fight. And we're anticipating him coming to fight because this is opportunity. Madison Square Garden, this is a big apple. This is where legends are made. And Top Rank Promotions, Bob Arum, you know, they put in this great show at this great venue with great fighters sitting here at the panel. Look, things can only get better. And this is a way of me to becoming a great world champion in my division. You know, I'm right now sitting as a king, you know, on my throne in this division, and I cannot overlook Emmanuel Navarrete. You know, he's a tough guy, he's a strong guy, and I mean, it's just gonna be a great night of boxing, and everyone has to come into the arena, Madison Square Garden, like you know. Christina said, if you haven't got your tickets yet, you have to get your tickets. It's going to be fireworks. You know, every time we step into the ring, we're bringing lightning and thunder. We're lighting up the place. You know, when you hear myself walking into the ring with the spirits of my grandfathers, the warriors coming into the ring, you know, it's a display of culture. You know, so we're coming in full spirit, high spirits. Everybody will be screaming, no! No! No. No. Aho. 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 No.
Born in Ghana, raised in the UK.
Born in Ghana, raised in the UK. No, it can only get better. I'm fighting ESPN.
And from South London to the Big Apple. What else?
That's how it goes, you know.
That's how it goes. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you, Isaac. All right, now to our main event. The two men flanking the boss man here, Bob Aram. They're both champions, but we're gonna start here with Jose Pedraza. Jose, you knew the moment they said and knew you won that WBO title that a win would mean a fight against Vasyl Lomachenko. Since that moment, how have you prepared both mentally and physically for the challenge at hand? Translator mic, please.
Desde el momento que te nombraron como campeón, sabías de la pelea contra Lomachenko. ¿Cómo te preparas mentalmente y físicamente para esta pelea?
Saludos a todos, primero que nada. Mira, sí, desde que se firmó la pelea con Beltrán ya se supo de la pelea con Lomachenko. La preparación mental, pues, obviamente mucho enfoque, el mismo enfoque que tuve para la pelea con Beltrán. Siempre bien positivo, bien animado para esta pelea. Así que, mira, mucho ánimo para seguir entrenando, mucha dedicación. Así que estoy bien preparado para esta pelea.
Since the moment I signed to fight Beltrán, I knew that the winner was going to fight Lomachenko. So mentally, I've been preparing, staying positive, staying focused, and also physically, I'm well prepared for this fight.
You know, a lot of people thought it was going to be Ray Beltran sitting right here to fight Lomachenko, but you shocked a lot of people that night. And again, you're sitting up here as a champion with the belt, but he's the heavy favorite in this fight. How do you again upset the odds and walk away with two belts on Saturday night?
Mucha gente esperaba que fuese Beltrán quien estuviese sentado aquí, pero tú sorprendiste a mucha gente. Ahora mismo te encuentras en la misma posición, mucha gente lo hace favorito a él. ¿Cómo haces para salir con los dos títulos el sábado?
Definitivamente hemos hecho un buen campamento para esta pelea. La preparación ha sido excelente. Me he preparado muy bien para Lomachenko, ya que tengo que estar bien preparado porque es un gran boxeador con todas las habilidades, un boxeador bien completo. Así que estar bien preparado para esta pelea y miren, también me siento bendecido por la oportunidad.
We have become very well prepared. I have a great training camp for this fight. We know that he's a great fighter, he's a complete fighter, and I'm also grateful for the big opportunity, so that's what I'm coming prepared to do in a good fight.
Lastly, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you what it would mean to Puerto Rico. Obviously, you becoming a world champion brought a lot of joy to the island, but now having the opportunity to possibly bring home two belts, that'd be a pretty nice Christmas present for a place that means so much to you.
¿Qué significaría una victoria el sábado para Puerto Rico? Ya te convertiste en campeón y trajiste alegría, pero ¿qué significaría traer otro título y un regalo de Navidad para la isla?
Mira, sí, definitivamente sería un regalo para Puerto Rico, un regalo grande y de mucha alegría, ya que sería para muchos la primera Navidad después del huracán María, la primera Navidad que se celebra al 100% como nosotros los puertorriqueños la celebramos. Así que sería algo histórico y de mucha bendición y mucha alegría.
Me winning the title on Saturday would mean a lot to the island. It would be something big. It would be the first Christmas after what happened with Hurricane Maria. So definitely, me winning on Saturday would bring a lot of joy and blessing to the island.
Thank you, Jose. Thank you. Thank you, buddy. There will be a lot of Puerto Ricans. I know for a fact they like to come out and support their fighters, so we're looking forward to a lively crowd.
A lot of Puerto Ricans in New York.
Who would have thought, right? Who would have thought? And a lot of, you know, Bob, you promoted quite a few that have fought here too, so we're looking for another great performance. And now over to the WBA champ, Vasyl, how you doing?
Good, thank you.
Good.
Hello, everyone.
Vasyl, we're not going to talk too much about the injury, but coming back off of that, if we could kind of spin it in a good way, it's the longest kind of break and rest that you've had, considering you've been boxing for so long. How good was that break for you, even though, you know, it came at that expense?
It was good. I'm rested and now I'm hungry. I can't wait to come back in the ring. So I'm ready for Saturday.
You mentioned this is one of your very favorite places to fight, if not the favorite. What does it mean to you to be able to defend your title and go for your first unification at Madison Square Garden?
Almost. It's a historical place. So for me, it's a big honor and I love this place.
For anybody that's looking at the Linares fight and, you know, thinking that maybe Jose Pedraza has an even better chance now, he's taller, he has a longer reach. Linares knocked you down, maybe you're not invincible. What do you have to say to those people?
We'll see. We need to wait a couple days. We'll see.
He's tired of talking, if you guys. He's all about the action. But if I can ask you, every fight you want to be in is a meaningful fight. You talked about only title fights, unification fights. So what does it mean to you to be able to have the opportunity to unify now?
No, it's the next step for my dream, and it's the next step for my goal. And after this fight, I think my dream come a little bit closer to me.
I know you want pay-per-view in the future.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
I think all boxers, all professional boxers, won't be in the pay-per-view.
All right. Well, I won't ask you any more questions. Is there anything else you want to say?
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool. You're still thrilled to be. Bob, if I can just close with you, let everybody know too, the weigh-ins. Obviously, everyone's a little more tight-lipped because they have to make weight tomorrow. That's going down behind me in the Hulu Theater at 1 p.m. We'll start with the undercard weigh-ins. At 1:30, the main event weigh-in will be on the scale. It'll also be live on ESPN2, so you can watch that from your television or your mobile device. But Bob, if you just want to make any closing remarks.
Yeah, you know, the first fight on Saturday is at 6 o'clock, right?
6:05 is the first fight.
Yeah,
Doors open
but
at 6.
also at 5 o'clock, there will be a special press conference with my friend Kathy Duver of Main Events and Yvonne Michelle of Jim. They will be announcing the fight between the rematch between Alvarez and Kovalov, which will be on February 2nd in Texas. And both fighters will be here. Kathy and Yvonne Michelle will be here. Igas will be here. And the press is invited to this very, very interesting press conference, which will precede the fights Saturday night, 5 o'clock.
Well, we just had the press conference then right now, right?
What?
This is the press conference then right now, right? Where is the fight taking place? Somebody over here in my ear wanted me to ask you where that fight will be taking place.
Be taking place in the practice field of where the Dallas Cowboys play in Frisco, Texas. Beautiful, beautiful facility. Jerry Jones has made it available for February 2nd, which happens to be the night before the Super Bowl, which I think is taking place in Minnesota this year.
Atlanta.
What?
Atlanta.
Okay, but it's not taking place in Texas, but it's the night before the Super Bowl. It's a great fight, and the fighters and the promoters will be here on Saturday before the action starts Saturday night.
It didn't kill you to say Cowboys being the Giants fan that you are? They're doing much better.
So we get a quarterback, we'll kill everybody.
All right.
No, Eli's been pretty good, but geez, he can't move.
All right. Well, I would like to thank everybody for joining us here today, everybody that's watching us streaming live on ESPN Plus and around the world. I'm Christina Poncher. We'll see you tomorrow for the weigh-ins. We're going to pose the fighters now. If you guys will all come up to the stage. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hey Fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps. If you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you go ahead and do so by clicking this icon right here and hit the bell button so you can get notified every time we upload a new video. And we also have a free app available on iTunes and Google Play, so make sure you go and download that. Bye Fight fans.